coming up on
Have you ever
Transformation to
been like
Expansion.
hired by a real estate agency to do your work to clear spaces at all? Or
I have advised a real estate agent that I know. She was like, "What do you think of this house?" I'm like, that's not the house, right? And she's like, "Dang it."
did you always like tap into your mediumship abilities or these like supernatural abilities? People who have passed, like what's one of the most common advice or things that you keep hearing come up for the living?
What I commonly hear in terms of speaking with people is that, number one, most of all, that they love us and that they're proud of us and that they understand that we're doing the best we can with what we have. And that really the expectations that we're trying to fulfill are our own. So like they're trying, like we always push ourselves, like we need to do this, we need to do that. It's like, actually we don't. That's just what we think. Those expectations that we work so hard on is really us. It's not them. It's not the universe. It's just us. And sometimes those expectations are unreasonable. I do mediumship readings. I actually am very specific about the ancestors or the people that I will speak to, because as a shaman, there's actually...
Did you always like tap into your mediumship abilities or these like supernatural abilities? Or did you have a moment of like awakening?
No, I mean, like I said, it was something that I've always had, like ever since I was a kid. Like I'd like smell cigars. Nobody was smoking cigars. I would smell perfume that we didn't have. It was just a part of everyday life for me. I never even thought about it. And then it wasn't until I moved to Seattle that I actually started to really work with it and try to understand it and make some sense of it, and figured out like, oh, I could actually do something with it if I wanted to. If I wanted to try to help people or just try to understand things a little better. And yeah, that is when everything changed, really.
And so you have mediumship abilities. I'm sure a lot of people work with you for this reason. If you don't mind sharing, what's one of the most common things that the people who have passed, like what's one of the most common advice or things that you keep hearing come up for us for the living?
Most of the time when I do mediumship readings, I actually am very specific about the ancestors or the people that I will speak to, because as a shaman, there's actually, the way I view it, there's like three sections. Like there's a section that we live in, there's the in between where the spirits live, and then there's the third section where everybody goes back to source, right? And so what I like to do is I like to talk.
Make sure to check out our community discussion all about healing, love, and empowering you to process your emotions right below the video in the comments. It's that easy. I can't wait to talk to you soon. Peace.
To talk to the people who have passed all the way through. They've gone to source and they have chosen to come back to the center part to help us with things. Because if they go all the way through, they have actually spent time kind of learning their lessons, right? They got the lowdown on why they were how they were in life, figured out why they made the mistakes they made, all that kind of stuff, right? And then they come back and they when they come back, they have let go of their prejudices, their fears, their grudges. They are much more enlightened and able to really guide us. And so those are the spirits that I like to talk to. So if someone has just crossed over, like, from an accident, or they've just died in the hospital or something like that, they have not completely crossed over. So they still retain a lot of their hopes, their fears, their dreams, their grudges, all that kind of stuff. And if in talking to a person like that, I will actually refer them to another medium, because I want to talk to the ones that are enlightened, that have already been through their thing and can give us like real wisdom from kind of like the bird's eye view of everything without all the human stuff still attached. And so, but what I commonly hear in terms of speaking with people is that, number one, most of all, that they love us and that they're proud of us and that they understand that we're doing the best we can with what we have. And that really the expectations that we're trying to fulfill are our own.
Mm.
You know, so like they're trying, like that we always push ourselves, like we need to do this, we need to do that. It's like, actually we don't. That's just what we think. Those expectations that we work so hard on is really us. It's not them. It's not the universe. It's just us. And sometimes those expectations are unreasonable, you know, for what we're trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish. And sometimes they can actually be like going against where we really want to be. Sometimes those expectations, you know, take us off course from where we need to be. And so that's the thing. And just a reminder that once you cross over, there's no pain. You know, people are always like, you know, am I still gonna be in pain? It's like, no, if you cross all the way through, there is no pain. There is no suffering. There's a deeper understanding of humanity, of their role that they played while they were alive, and of where we are and how they can help us. The ones that when they just crossed over, they they're still stuck in their loop. You know, they still have, like, I still feel a little bit of pain. They still have regrets. Um, sometimes they get stuck because they can't let go of their fear or their anger or their beliefs about something. Um, Part of the work I do as a shaman is getting the stuck souls to cross over, because what happens is the longer they stay there, that energy that they're holding on to becomes part of the energy that's carried forward in the genetic line. I mean, there's lots and lots of people that I've, like, you know, I look back at their family line and I see, you know, they've got an ancestor who is so afraid of anything that they won't cross over, and that fear has translated down the family line, and people are like, why are we so afraid of things? Like, there's nothing to be afraid of, and yet I have this paralyzing fear. And I'm like, yeah, because it came from her.
How does one heal that? So if we know that there's something in our family line, how do you start to heal that, especially if it's not something that you necessarily experienced in this lifetime?
Then what I would do is I would open a metaphysical door to the source for that spirit and ask them to go through. And once they step through, like, they're literally holding what I call an energy anchor, because that they are the anchor of the energy that's rolling down the family line. So I take that energy and I transmute it and I bring it forward in time to the present day. And in doing so, that energy, like, releases everybody else in the family that's holding it, is how it works. So yeah, so if you know the process of getting somebody to cross over, that's what you have to do. Like, go back, see if you can find them, get them to cross over. And sometimes they argue. You know, it depends. Like, I was helping a student of mine, and it just so happens that there's the ancestor was so far back, and the guy hated women so much he wouldn't even talk to us. So I had to call a male ancestor from another male ancestor, like one of his brothers or something, to come and talk to him so that he would cross over, because he wouldn't listen to us. He just hated women so much he would not speak to us.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I've had other people who are like, I'm not going, I refuse to go. And once the door is open, I can actually call through the doorway for a family member. So I remember one time, this one guy, he did not want to go. And he was fighting it. And I called through the doorway, and his grandmother showed up. And she looked at him and she just went, get in here. And he was like, and then he he went through the door, and I closed the door, and I'm like, done. So
That's hilarious.
yeah, so you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, once you, like, transmute that energy and roll it forward to the present day, like, that ripples all through the genetic line.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, um, yeah, in this time, we're becoming more and more aware of those traumas that happen to us that actually it's in your DNA. It's stored in your DNA. I think a lot of us who are living through this time, we are healed here. I think it's everybody at this point. I think everybody is pretty aware that they're here to heal the DNA that's in their bodies. Um,
So, have you ever felt like you're meant for more? You're here for a reason. Something inside of you knows that there's more. There's more purpose, there's more connection, there's more fulfillment, there's more love to be enjoyed in this life. What if all of that was here right now? Your life easier to navigate, your dreams easier to manifest. You can live in a life of ease, even in these uncertain times with Pluto being in Aquarius. Your community of expansion is right here at your fingertips. From the moment you enter, you feel the sense of release and comfort. No more wondering if all those downloads you got as a kid were just random thoughts. No more wondering that time you had telepathy, thinking that it was just a fluke. Be with the people you know are here for you. Join our ever-expanding community on Patreon for free. And for those of you who ask, yes, the Wellness Library is included. I love y'all so much. Let's get back to the show. Peace.
and I don't know. I was like, are we always doing this as human beings, or do you think it's really is this time?
I think it's just this time. And I think it's because we're all like transitioning into like the higher frequencies overall. Like everybody talks about the 5D, and
Right.
yeah, it's like I don't really know what all that entails or means or whatever, but I know that just in general, we're all raising our vibration together. And in order to do that, there's all this old stuff that just needs to be taken out. And honestly, like with some of the stuff that we've all been carrying, like the ancestors that we're looking at are so far back that it literally, like, you get that one person to cross over and you can literally feel the change through thousands of people.
Wow, I love that. That's really powerful. Yeah, because you're changing the whole line.
Yeah, so if you end up getting an ancestor to cross over, that's like several generations back. It's like you could be changing the life of a person you don't even know.
Yeah, sorry, my brain is like going, and every time when you see me look over here, I'm like, oh my god, like just going deep. Yeah, because it's like it's funny because our souls are connected, and the way I understand, and this is from talking to a master monk, but the way I understand it about DNA, you can't, when you incarnate, the DNA or the body is just kind of like the conditions that you set for the experience. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, okay, cool. Sorry, I was just like
Yeah,
I'm trying to put it in words. So I'm like doing a lot right now.
yeah, we're actually connected on several different levels because we can be connected, person to person, body to body, and then we can be connected like in at higher levels. So yeah, we're connected to people that we don't even know spiritually. It's really interesting. So yeah.
Real quick, and you can say no to this. This is okay. Like I'm not gonna be. But do you want to channel for anybody in the audience?
No, I think what I'm gonna do is it feels like I need to do like maybe like a group healing thing is what it feels like. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send that energy, and whoever needs it, wants it, accepts it, can have it. If not, it will just go to the earth the way it always does. And this will continue for anyone who wants it whenever they watch it. Okay, so let's just do that. It's not going to take very long. So here we go. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, Kai, that's so interesting. I mean, I'm like, am I getting more sensitive? But like, as soon as you put out your hands, I could feel the energy shift, like within, yeah, within my own, which is really interesting. So,
And it's coming through a screen.
that like literally as soon as you did it, yeah, I could feel even within my space the energy shift, which is really cool. Okay, cool. We've talked about so much in this episode, and yeah, I just really want to say thank you so much for being on the show. We're not quite done yet, but I do want to take a moment to say thank you because it's so I've learned so much. I know the audience has learned so much, and it's just really cool what you do. It's really, really cool. Have you ever been like hired by a real estate agency, like to do your work to clear spaces at all, or?
No, I have advised a real estate agent that I know because she was actually looking to buy some property for herself. And, she was like, "What do you think of this house?" I'm like, that's not the house, right? And she's like, "Dang it." So she's like, "Yeah, I knew. I just wanted to be sure." Because she's pretty sensitive as well. And so, yeah, every once in a while, there's been a couple times where people have asked me, like, "What do you think about this property?" And I'm like, "Nope." Or like, "Oh, yeah, that might be a good one for you." They were like, "What, do you see anything on this property?" It's like, "Yeah, there's a couple things." But, it also depends upon like who wants to live there. So if somebody is like super sensitive and very highly influenced by vibrations and frequencies and things like that, I was like, there's some places I'm just like, you don't want to live there because you'll never have any peace. And other places it's just like, yeah, that place is perfect for you. So you have to go, with your gut on stuff. I mean, there's this one woman, she calls me every few months. She's like, "I bought another house and guess what? It's haunted." I'm like, "Why do you keep buying haunted houses?" She's like, "I can't help it. I just like the house. And then I'm there and I realize it's haunted. And then I call you." Yeah, she's just attracted to things. And, the funny thing is, it's like, they're not like really bad, like super bad haunted houses. I mean, but, there's enough of a disturbance there that she's like, "Oh, okay, I need to call her." Yeah, she even bought a haunted cabinet one time. She's like, "It was so pretty." And I'm like, "You knew better."
What? Girl, bye. Look, I don't know. Maybe she likes it. It's fine. To each their own. To each their own. Me, that's a
Yeah, she
no.
was like,
That's
"It
a
was
no.
so pretty." I'm like, "Uh-huh, you knew better." She was like, "Yeah, I did." I'm like, "Stop buying haunted things."
Oh my goodness. She likes. I don't know. I think she enjoys it. That's a little suspicious.
Yeah.
She keeps on
Yeah, I mean,
rejecting
she's
it.
had, I think it's like 3 houses, and then she had the cabinet. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Mm-mm. That's crazy. But not all haunted spaces are evil,
No.
right?
No, I mean, because, there have been instances where people was like, "Yeah, I know I have a ghost here, and as long as they mind their business, we're good." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." I mean, for me, I'd be like, I do not want anything other than people or pets in my house. I'm sorry. But people choose what they want to do. um, I'm always like, if it gets to the point where you feel like the space is not yours and that you are living your life to accommodate something.
Make sure to check out our community discussion all about healing, love, and empowering you to process your emotions right below the video in the comments. It's that easy. I can't wait to talk to you soon. Peace.
Something that you can't see, like, some people do this thing like, "Oh, I don't go into that room," or "I don't spend time in the basement," or "After dark I don't spend any time over there," kind of stuff. I said that is interfering with your life, and that means that something needs to be done. Because if it's your property, it's yours. They're dead. They don't deserve to be there. If it's a ghost, if it's an entity of some kind, then it needs to move on. um because the thing is, people don't understand that when you have things in your house, that are not good, they can affect your family to the point where they can cause sickness and death. Like one of the first signs of like a major problem is if someone's pets keep dying. Like, so when someone asks me, like, there's something going on in my house, the first thing I ask about is the pets. And they're like, well, I don't understand. And I was like, because pets love us, they will protect us. So literally, they will take the energy hits that come at us and they will take those on until the point where they die. And so I always ask about the pets. So when someone keeps telling me, yeah, my pets keep dying, I'm like, that is a serious problem. I mean, they will.
I had like a family friend like that.
Yeah, it's like, so they will, I mean, it's like when someone keeps getting sick, like that one I told you about, the family had to move, like the grandmother, she'd leave the house, go to work, she'd be perfectly fine during the day, come home, feel sick, like really sick, like had to lay down, couldn't function when she was at home. Get up, drag herself to work the next day, be perfectly fine at work, perfectly fine during the day, come home, sick again. So it's like they go after children, pets, and elderly, and if anybody who's ill. And that includes not just physical illness, but mental illness. Those are the vulnerable, and so they're essentially easy targets, or easier targets, I should say.
You mentioned pets earlier, and I'm just curious about this. Can people's past loved ones reincarnate as pets?
I suppose it's possible. I've not seen it myself. I've seen, pets like run around as pets. I don't know if a person has come back as a pet, but I guess it's possible.
What are the souls of animals then? Is it like can like the same soul that incarnates like this body here, can I go and then transfer, like if I pass away, of course, transfer it into an animal? Is that
I mean, I think theoretically that's possible, but I don't see why anybody would. Just because it's almost like the evolutionary scale, that would be like going backwards, right? So I can see that an animal at some point gets to the point where they then become human, possibly. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really examined that too much. Like for me, usually animals stay animals, people stay people, kind of thing. But I guess
Mhm.
if people wanted to be like their husband's pet or something, they could do that. Or if the pet wanted to come back and to be human again, and or be human at one point, then I assume that would be possible. I mean, I'm sure that there's some metaphysical dance that needs to be done to make sure everybody's up to par or where they need to be in order to make that happen. But yeah, I guess it's possible.
Okay, cool. No, I'm just curious because everyone has their own perspective on that
Mm-hmm.
process too. I know a lot of monks, they believe kind of like what you said, it's an evolutionary thing. Um, yeah, like they believe that plants don't have like they don't have the same soul that we do. I guess that's the way I would put it. So I was just, yeah, really curious about that. And I know a lot of people who believe like, they're animals like are reincarnated beings from, or not beings, but family members and stuff like that. So do you know anything about that reincarnation cycle?
Not really. I mean, I haven't had much experience with it. I mean, I know that it happens, but I've not personally seen it in action. So I don't know if, in other words, like I haven't heard of anybody that they died and then came back as somebody else that they knew or whatever. Although my teacher did say that one of my teachers said that she believed her mother came back as her daughter because her mother had passed away
Mm.
before her daughter was born. And that was just her belief because they were so much alike. They even sort of looked alike. And yeah, so that was her belief. But her daughter is still very much her own person. It's just a lot of her habits and tendencies and mannerisms, I guess, were very much like her grandmother. So that's why my teacher believed that that was actually probably her mother coming back. Um, yeah, but that's as close as I've been to it. So
Okay, cool. Just yeah, I'm just curious because yeah, there's certain religions that do believe that, like in Bali, a lot of the Balinese people, they do believe that, when the grandfather or the grandmother passes away, somebody else in the family will have a kid, and that kid will be the grandmother or grandfather reincarnated. They're really the only belief or religion that I know of or that I've heard of that truly believes this. And believes it to an extent where it's like um I don't want to say common law, but it's like everybody.
So, have you ever felt like you're meant for more? You're here for a reason. Something inside of you knows that there's more. There's more purpose, there's more connection, there's more fulfillment, there's more love to be enjoyed in this life. What if all of that was here right now? Your life easier to navigate, your dreams easier to manifest. You can live in a life of ease, even in these uncertain times with Pluto being in Aquarius. Your community of expansion is right here at your fingertips. From the moment you enter, you feel the sense of release and comfort. No more wondering if all those downloads you got as a kid were just random thoughts. No more wondering that time you had telepathy, thinking that it was just a fluke. Be with the people you know are here for you. Join our ever-expanding community on Patreon for free. And for those of you who ask, yes, the Wellness Library is included. I love y'all so much. Let's get back to the show. Peace.
He knows this. Everybody knows, oh yeah, that's grandma. Oh yeah, that's my uncle. Oh yeah, that's my cousin. Like it's very normal, normal there. And it's yeah. So I'm just curious about it because then it's like these souls are choosing to reincarnate back into that island, right? So it's I don't know. It's just it's interesting. And then when I talked to a monk about this, what he said to me? He was like, "It's too complicated to explain." And I was like, "Thanks."
yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what they said about the Dalai Lama, right? That's how they choose their monks. Is that like you have like the beads or an object that belonged to a monk that passed away, and then eventually, like they do all their divination process, and they look for the kids that were born at the time, place, location that they find, and then they go meet the kid, and then the kid is like, "What are you doing with my stuff?" And that's how they identify the next incarnation of that monk.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like that's how the Dalai Lama was found, I believe. And other monks in that tradition are found in that same way.
And the Tibetan Buddhist. Yeah, I haven't visited Tibetan Buddhists yet. I need to visit it. I haven't met a lot of them yet. I've been to Thailand, and their Buddhism is different. Every country has um, different Buddhist practice, Buddhist beliefs. But yeah, I need to go to. Well, I don't think you can go to Tibet right now, but I wanted to go to Nepal or North India, which you can get a little close to the community there. Um, so before we close, the last question I like to ask everybody is, how do you see humans evolving from here?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. Just because I think what's happening now is it's funny because we always think that we're gonna evolve in a way that we expect, and we never do. And
Okay.
so in terms of like how we will evolve, I think what we're moving towards in general feels like people are starting to, well, we're seeing the cracks, we're seeing the flaws, and we're getting to the point where we cannot ignore them anymore. And so people are now like, okay, we see where the problems are. What do we want to do to fix them? So I think the next steps for us would be to fill in the cracks, make the repairs, do what needs to be done. And I'm looking forward to that, honestly, just to see, because at that point, that's when people will become creative. They'll be innovative. We will have new technologies, new ways of thinking, new paths to explore. And I think that that is a shining example of the possibilities that we could have as humans if we will allow ourselves to do those things.
I love that. Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Kai, for being on the show
You're
today.
welcome.
Do you have any last words before we head out?
Well, I just want to say thank you for allowing me on, and thank you to the audience for taking your time to do this today and listen to me rattle on about whatever. And just, I guess the thing is, I just want people to take with them the message that you're in control of everything related to your life. Don't let anybody take that away from you. And remember to treat yourself with kindness.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kai. Yes, please, you guys. Yeah, treat yourself with
You're
kindness and
welcome.
love. Watch those thoughts. Make sure those thoughts are kind, because I know our self-talk can be crazy sometimes, right? It's because we don't talk to other people like that. So why should we talk to ourselves like that? Okay. Well, as always, y'all, I love y'all so much, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.